Hi folks, another quick video. I just did the video about that when you're full of joy and you see now, you can see that you're maybe worth something rather than completely useless and nobody wants you, that sort of crap. That's not the same as pride. Well, anyway, the Bible talks about how to deal with situations. Right? Yeah, instead of going to the pastor and expecting the pastor to deal with it. Well, certainly if someone was offended by the way I spoke to them, the Bible talks about how to deal with that, doesn't it? Matthew 18, from verse 15, talks about that. Now, yeah. What I do realise is obviously people from the church would certainly try to have a go at me saying, "Oh, but you put things online instead of dealing with things in that way." Yeah, but I've been putting things online for all that time, and I put things online because of the fact, well, the reason I started doing it, and it's still the same, is because the channel used to be called A Normal Christian, and it was putting things online that normal Christians would face and would see and would experience, and I would talk about those things and try and talk about them from a way that can maybe help somebody. It certainly was never as a way, and actually, as I said, go and listen to the video that I did about the person that spoke or what he said. All the way through that, I'm saying I'm not hating on him, I'm not judging him, I'm simply looking at what he said and looking at it from the point of view that it was wrong to put him up there. Whoever put him up there was the one in the wrong. And again, I'm not saying the person put him up there on purpose, knowing that he would do that. Simply the fact that okay, mate, look, I think I said on a day, is there even a slight possibility that this is what God wants? Okay, yeah, maybe. There's a tiny possibility that God wanted this man to preach and to say exactly what he said. A tiny possibility. But it's more likely that really God wasn't consulted that much as to who would be the person to bring the message on that day. Yeah, I have no idea as towards the way that it's dealt with by this pastor. How he consults with God and how long he gives and all that stuff. But do I imagine it's likely that he gave all the time necessary to God? To listen, to be guided as to what God wanted for that day? Maybe the whole point of that day was, for me to get to the point of realising, okay, I won't share anything more. Then if they're not ready, I can't share it with them because they're not going to receive it, so I just won't share anything. Maybe that was the whole point. So okay, maybe God wanted it because maybe God wanted, the pastor to say things that were untrue and accusations that weren't founded. Yeah, maybe that's the point. Maybe that had to happen for me to do this. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Sometimes things like that do happen, so maybe. Yeah. That is a possibility. But as I say, it's not a case where the people in the church weren't speaking about me before then, because they were. Yeah. And so, should they have dealt with things according to Matthew 18, should they have dealt with things according to that? Yeah. I don't know, let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what it says, I suppose. Now, can I read this without glasses? It says, moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained the brother. Yeah. Well, this applies also to Mrs. B, quite obviously, because I've been saying for a long time that Mrs. B hasn't done things according to the word. Yeah, that's true. But if he will not hear you, take with you one or two more by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, even the word may be established. If the person refuses to hear them, let it go to the church. Okay, and what did they do? What did they do? Well, as I said, the reality is, have I shared with this person before? The person who spoke? Yes, when I had an opportunity. On the day of the preaching, not Sunday, just gone, the Sunday before, after the church, I went into the back to do the dishes, with the cups and stuff like that, to clean up all that sort of stuff. And by the time I finished, I think everyone was pretty much gone. I think he might still have been there just about. But what happened was the same thing that's happened on the that Tuesday night, just after the Queen's funeral procession. That Tuesday, while I was at the church, in that meeting, yes, I noticed that what they were saying was a bit ridiculous. I noticed that what they were saying wasn't them being led by God. Clearly, I noticed that, yeah. But I didn't see it as that horrendous or that outrageous. It was only when I got indoors that, boom, or on the way back. It might have been on the way back or when I got indoors, not too sure. But certainly by the time I got indoors, I was like, Father, how are you going to deal with that? Yeah, it went from where I wasn't really even thinking about it to, Father, how are you going to deal with that? The level, my understanding of it, just boom. It's like, okay. And it's the same with that preaching. I went to bed, couldn't sleep because of the fact that was just on my mind completely. And I got up and did a video about it. And I just trusted, okay, that video is true. That video is my reaction to that stuff. It's not like so many people. Like, what does I say? If I'm saying that church preachers should not prepare, practice, present and sell their message, then I can't do that either. Sometimes I'm going to put something out there that's going to be offensive to people. There you go. Was I intending to offend? No. But sometimes people will be offended. Was it quite raw, that video? Yes. Yeah. Because I was outraged by what I saw. I was so outraged that I couldn't even lay down and rest. Because my mind was just vroom, 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 vroom with that. So I shared it. I shared it as it was at the time. Did I have a chance to speak to him on that occasion? Not really. I don't have his number, so I couldn't have phoned him up. Was it something that I could wait a week? Well, certainly doing the video, I had to do the video then because I wanted to kip, so I had to get it out so I could kip. Did I have to put it online? No, but all the videos, I seek God first. Do I need to put this online? So, yeah. Yeah. So, as I say, the situation is quite simple. Is that my understanding of people in churches, they have no understanding of how to actually deal with things. Now, am I an expert in this? No. Generally speaking, the only person I do have a slight problem with is the pastor. Because, as I say, what he said to me was unfounded. And stuff that isn't true. In which case, should I speak to him about it? No, I don't think I should, because I imagine he's heard one of the videos where I've spoken about that, and he's had time to pray about it, to seek God about it, and he hasn't bothered getting back to me on it. I saw him yesterday. Did he say anything to me? No. So he's had the opportunity to hear stuff, because, he was listening to that video, even listened to one I did after that. Yeah, the day on that Friday, I think, when I spoke to him, he listened to a video then. So is it quite likely that he's keeping an eye on the videos? Yeah. And listening to some of them? Yeah. Well, I've mentioned this point over and over again on a number of occasions. Well, because, you know, it does, you know, yeah. I say, it just, yeah. When I think about what he said, it's just that thing that's, how? How can you claim that you're being guided by God? Not only do you put that man up there to deliver that, and you think that's okay, because your explanation for that is that, yeah, if I'd listened, I would have realised that what he meant was, what? If I'd have listened, I'd have realised what he meant was, no, he's supposed to, again, I've already said this many, many times, yeah. Yeah, so much of it just I can't commute. That's why I did the one last night talking about where, you know, different people can think such different things and be offended by such different things. It's just woof. Yeah. It just blows my mind. How can you not see that? But as I said in the last one, same thing. You know, talking about pride and stuff like that. My understanding of what God has given me is... Sorry, I got wind again. I just had a bit of tea and yeah, quite annoying. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, my understanding of all that stuff that God has given me is, you know, how can people not know this? Including, how could I, all those years, not know this? There's nothing to do with pride. It's just, you know, the simplicity of things. Yeah, when you see just how simple things are, it's like, how could we not have known? So of course, when I speak to people, I might speak to people with a bit of that. You know, how could we not have known that? Yeah, it's so obvious, isn't it, really? And they think that's pride. It's not pride. It's just amazement that we didn't know before. You know, it's utter amazement that we've been doing church for this long, and you've had people praying, and this message didn't go out. It's like, well, either God has decided this message won't come out till now. Okay. Well, that makes a certain degree of sense, yeah. Yeah, when a church has got to probably the worst condition the church has ever been in, that now we bring this new thing. Yeah, that makes sense. But also what doesn't make sense is how they're not ready. If they're at this point where they're at the worst that they've ever been in, how are they not at the point where they're screaming for God to just do whatever he you know? There's just so much of it just doesn't make sense to me at all. But that's because I've never been churchy. As I say, I've never been a churchy person. I've never been into that sort of stuff, so I can't understand things from their point of view. I'd love to get to know someone who really is of that point of view, so I can actually understand things from their point of view, because I can't. I really can't understand things from their point of view. It blows my mind how people can't understand it. And yeah. But that's why I say, that's why I'm coming from a different point of view to most people in church, is because I've never been where they are. Never. I've never been of that understanding of, you know, caring that much about church, or about that sort of thing, or about sort of pretending that we're doing better than. Again, pretending may be a bit unfair. It comes across as pretending. But okay, being very optimistic about the situation as it stands. I've never been there. Never. And I'm not upset about that. I'm quite thankful about that. But I understand that it would have been useful had I've been close to someone or really got to know someone who was of that way of thinking, because they could have shared that with me as why they think the way they think. That would have been quite useful. But certainly as of now, that hasn't happened. But it would be a beneficial thing to happen. Indeed, yes. So, yeah. We all do things... To be honest, we all do things our way. Most of the time. Sometimes we have to do things God's way. I mean, that's the reality. Yeah. Indeed. Well, I mean, so far, it is a case where God hasn't told me to stop doing the videos. Or putting the videos online. If he tells me, I'd happily do so, because it's not as if, you know, my videos are getting tons of views, so why, you know, they're not exactly reaching a ton of people, are they? So if God says, stop doing them, you don't need to do them anymore, okay, I won't. Yeah. Because it doesn't bother me about, you know, if God is saying he's not in this, then I'll stop doing it. Simple. Yeah, it won't bother me. Because, yeah, I can just go on walks and talks and speak to God anyway and get things out anyway, that way. If I need to. Yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, as I say, that's the reality. We all do things that maybe we shouldn't do, and we all do things in ways that we shouldn't do them. But yeah, the reality is, just because we all do them, it doesn't mean we should all keep doing them. Does it really? It would be far, far better if people sort of dealt with things. If you've got an issue against somebody, speak to them about it. Yeah. Get it sorted, because you never know. Yeah, just because you think that you really don't want this person in your life, it doesn't mean that person is not supposed to be in your life in the future. And so, yeah, get rid of any crap now, just in case they're supposed to be in your life. But even if they're not supposed to be in your life at any point in time, why have that? Why have that? That when that person's name is mentioned, you go, I can't stand that person. Yeah. Why have that? No, I mean, the actual point about being reconciled with somebody, if you say you love the Lord, if you say you want to do things according to his will and his ways, then, you know, if it gets to a point where you won't even acknowledge somebody when they walk in a room, or when you walk in a room and they're there, you'll say hello to most people but not that person, and all the time you won't say hello to that person, then you consider that person has sinned against you. I've never considered that the person who preached last Sunday before last, sinned against me. It wasn't personal what I said against him. Other people took offence to that, as if I had been personal against him. But I hadn't. But if you've taken offence to the point where you won't even say hello, you won't even acknowledge that that person is in the room, then according to your mouth, you should be doing things according to Matthew 18 from 15 onwards. Yeah. Well, especially like when the pastor's telling me that we should be doing things according to the word. Yeah. Well, as I say, is he telling them this? Yeah. To be honest, it hasn't been tested. Not from, well, in this church, it hasn't been tested. I've not been back to the church since. But if he has told them this, then I would expect for the people who have been doing things in that way, for them to come over and say, we're sorry, we shouldn't have done that. Yeah. Well, whether they thought I was full of pride or whether they thought I was walking around thinking that I knew more than them, wrongly doing that. Because that's the point. I mean, if they understand that I know more than them and I'm walking around sharing what I know, which is what I should be doing, yeah, then they wouldn't have a problem with it. The only point is they think I don't know more than them, so therefore that's why they're offended by the fact I'm sharing stuff, because they think I'm trying to act as if I know more than them, which is not the case, and I've already demonstrated that it's not the case, so I don't need to re-demonstrate that because I've already done so. Yeah, but that's the point. I mean, for me, as I say, has anyone offended me? Oh, well, yeah, maybe the pastor, maybe. So I don't know. I mean, am I offended to the point? I don't know. I'm going to have to speak to God about that. And if I am, then I won't have to speak to him. I won't have to phone him up and have a chat with him about that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, there isn't anyone else though. I mean, there is things that people have done that make me think, oh my God, really? Well, especially when the idea came that one of those people would be my wife. It's like, for goodness sake, oh, actually two of them. It's like, no. No, but again, that's nothing personal against them. I don't know them. But from what I know, would I want to be in that situation? Of course not. No. And they would probably say the same about me, which is cool. Well, they don't know me, so yeah. That's fine. But no, as I say, no. But even a situation with Mrs. B, yeah, am I offended by the way she's done things? Not particularly. No, because, well, generally speaking, is it going to hurt me? No. Is it going to hurt her? Possibly, but it certainly won't hurt me. Well, because if she's not speaking to me, if she continues her blanking on Facebook with blanking in person, if ever I see her again, which is maybe not, then certainly can I share what God has given me with her? Can I help her to receive that? No. No, not at all. Is that going to bother me? No, because that's her choice. She has her walk, and that's her choice to do things as she wishes. So, yeah. That's it. I wish her well. Simple as that. I do. And I wish the people well in the church, of course. Yeah. Well, as I've always said, if God wants me to share with the church, then I'd be absolutely delighted to do that. I would. Yeah, if I could help them to receive, then that would be fantastic. It'd be a beautiful thing to be able to do. Can that happen? I don't know. That's up to God. It's not up to me in any way, shape or form. So I'm not going to be worrying about it. But I mean, I think most likely I can't. But I think that's the situation right now. But I can't say that for a certainty. I'm just saying most likely I don't think that will happen. No. But then again, did I think it happened before? Yes. And so has anything major changed? Not really. Yeah. So, it is what it is. So you take care, God bless, I'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful, whatever you're doing, basically. And wherever you are. Yes. Yeah, but as I said, if God told me to give up this channel, I would do. No problem at all. Yep. I'll stop doing videos straight away if God told me to. Because, yeah, all I get out of them is that, sometimes I see if people comment and, I see it's helping them in some way. That's cool. But if God told me to stop this, then He will replace it with a way that I can help people, in a better way. So, yeah, that's cool. Indeed. So you take care, God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful week, yes. Because it's only Monday. Yes, indeed. It certainly is. So enjoy. You take care. I'll speak to you soon. Probably. Bye-bye.